every given period. So if your end of the period is at the end of the month or quarterly or annually or whatever you establish it as, it's important that you understand that those exact 10 steps to properly close out the books in QuickBooks, okay? So I believe that is going to be one of the most important things that you should know, and I believe there is a whole section in the review questions that we will go over. All right, so that being said, if you guys could flip your pages to page 414, I am going to go over the adjustment problem number 2. So, yes, for those who don't remember, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to properly import it into your QuickBooks. So again, the files that you have, the portable files, you cannot just go to a folder and double click on it. In order for you to open it in to open the file in general, you absolutely need to use QuickBooks in order to open it. So oftentimes a lot of students have that issue where I can't open the file. You cannot open the file blank ways that you are. You have to open up QuickBooks first, and then you can open the file. So yes, was that a question? No? Okay. So here we're at the home. This is, well, I call this the home page, but the very first screen that you should see when you open up QuickBooks. All right. And it's going to give you a list of all the files that you previously opened before, or you have options at the bottom. In this case, we're trying to open an existing company file. All right. And all the files that we have downloaded, right, I've instructed you guys to download the student portable files. They are all portable files, okay? None of them are working files, and none of them are backup files, okay? So we're going to have to open an existing portable file. So make sure you select this option, or else it will not work for you, okay? You're going to go ahead and locate where you placed your portable files. So in this case, I placed it in my P2 Accounting QuickBooks class portable files. And I'm going to go ahead and use an existing one that we have. So one of these student portable files that I'm going to open. We're doing adjustment problem number 2. Okay, I located my file. Now the next thing is it's going to ask you, where do you want to save and expand this file? So again, I've actually created a folder for just your class. So it is under documents all the way till we get to portable files. But I actually named it as AM class for 1116. All right. General rule of thumb is the best way to locate or to place your file is in a separate folder. You don't want to combine it in your student portable files. It's because every time you open up either an existing working file or a portable file, it's just going to be cluttered up with too much items in the folder. Because every time you save this, let's say, so I'm saving it here in the AM QuickBooks class 1116, it's going to, as you see this green bar right here, what it's doing is it's taking the portable files and it's expanding it and creating a working data file. So that means your portable file is no longer used because you have now an existing working file. Now, every time you save this or you work on it, you're only updating the data file. So again, this is things that we learned in chapter 1. So in order for you to save the changes, you have to create a new company portable file. Okay? So, and then a best way to rename it is to have the date on it. All right? So as we get to this window here, we're going to enter Sleeter 18, Sleeter 18. Okay, that is the creator of this book. So everything in this portable files all have the same exact password. So I have my cap locks on. So I need to make sure. Yes, it's very case sensitive. So now the next thing is going to say, if for any reason that you are opening this file, so especially for the 2018 accountant, because you guys are, when you guys download the book, you guys are supposed to be downloading the accountant version of 2018. So they did switch it up apparently sometime before. So for that kind of reason, you definitely need to update your files to the latest release as well as the latest stuff for you. So you're going to go ahead and click update, and once you finish this all the way, it will give you the message that your update has been completed. So again, this is updating the company file. So I'm opening a 2018 Premiere file, and what I'm doing is I'm converting it into a 2019 Pro file. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Now, in regards to your book, so again, you guys are supposed to be tested on Premiere. So your book is going to teach you how to use Premiere. But just know that when you download it, I believe they changed the program some time ago. Now you're actually downloading the accountant. I believe this actually changed recently because my previous class downloaded Premiere 2018. But now it's 2018 accountant, which does the same exact functions as Premiere, except you know, you have slight differences. It's not that big of a difference, though. Okay. So once you've done that, usually you'll get this little login to your Intuit account. You can ignore that and just close that out. And then now my window is setting up. My home page is opening up. I'm going to get this spotlight, this new features little window, and all of these you can just close out. Okay, so that's how you open up an existing portable file. And of course, at the end of this, I'll show you how to either create a backup, or you don't need to save this. It automatically saves itself. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and do the practice problem number 2. Okay, so what do I need to do?
The general comment. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay. Just go. No.
All right. Create a general journal. Okay, enter in the journal entry as 2019-1. The date's going to be January 31st for 2019, and we're going to recategorize our $58 from our office supplies expense and place that into postage and delivery expense. Okay, so it says here, a hint, debit, postage, delivery, and credit. Okay, we already know that because we're moving from one to another. Okay, use the journal entries account at the top of the journal entries as, okay, we already know that, and then discussed in the thing, and the class is going to be San Jose. So let's go ahead and do this. How do I create a journal entry?
Go to the company on the menu bar,
Okay.
and then
Company
select
journal.
make general. Yeah, journal entry.
So again, it will give me, okay, and we're going to do this on January 31st of 2019. Okay, General Journal 2019-1. And what am I going to do first? what am I going to do first?
An account called journal entry.
Yes, you need to create an account for journal entries. In this case, I already created it. And that's the first thing I'm going to recognize is I want a place to keep track of my journal entries. And that's how I do it, by making sure that I place this into this account. And here, I believe it is recategorizing. Recategorize expense. Okay. Now, what is the specific accounts that I'm going to be using here? So it said in the example that I have accidentally put off in office supplies expense $58. Now I need to actually place it into my postage and delivery expense. So how am I going to recognize this and what am I going to do?
Memo says is postage, is not expense in the memo.
It's not a postage expense?
You have to put in memo postage, not expense. I can pronounce that first word.
Recategorize? Recategorize? Okay, so in this case, it says to recategorize. So let's go ahead and place in our postage and delivery. Okay, so it gave you a little hint here for those who don't understand accounting. How it works is I placed everything in my office supplies expense. I misplaced it, so now I'm reorganizing it, saying, well, a portion of this money is actually supposed to go to postage and delivery. So by going here and typing in postage, right? If you actually look at this and understand how the chart of accounts is actually recognized, this is actually an expense account. Okay, so I'm recategorizing my expense to another expense account. And my the one that I'm supposed to be taking out from is my office supplies. Office supplies expense. So office supplies expense right here.
Lower. I over it. Sorry.
That's fine. Okay, so my amount is for $58 in the debit and $58 for credit. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and
Recategorize.
okay, recategorize expense. All right, except this time, I'm actually going to tack on an actual class as well, since I'm assuming the first one didn't even have a class either. I'm going to go ahead and say this is for San Jose. Okay. Oh, I'm on the wrong one, but San Jose. All right, I'm moving my San Jose office supplies expense to my postage and delivery expense from San Jose. So now that I've looked at this journal entry, it looks good. Save and close. Once you get that beep of approval, you are done. What is the next question? Okay, so we're going to create another journal entry on January 31st, okay? The entry number is going to be whatever the next number is. And we're going to be recording a $150 in depreciation, okay, for fixed assets, okay? So this is where we're going to actually be looking at a depreciation expense account, and we're going to be crediting accumulated depreciation, okay? use the journal entries account, okay? And on the top of the general journal entry, enter in descriptive memo saying monthly depreciation for fixed assets. On the top, blah, 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 the entry use class San Jose. So in this case, when we learn about depreciation, we're going to learn about how historical cost comes into play. Second thing too is when you actually purchase the asset, when you depreciate, obviously you're utilizing the asset. You're not going to ever sell the asset for the price that you pay for it. And in this world, it's unrealistically that's never the case, because if you used the machine, especially if you had it for a couple years, it loses value over time. And on top of that, the materials it was made to use it, right? You've already used it. It's no longer good anymore. Okay. So with that being said, I go to company. Oh, hit the wrong one. Company, make journal entries. All right. So when we depreciate, we're going to use the accumulated depreciation. So in this case, the date is the same. We're still putting in January 31st. Again, it should automatically associate the next line up when you entered the first one in. And the first thing I'm going to do is journal entries. Okay. So here it tells me I need to recognize depreciation expense. All right, and that's going to go against my accumulated depreciation. All right, and I believe it's for 150 on both sides. And then, of course, here I got to write, is it monthly depreciation or I think it's monthly.
Monthly depreciation for fixed assets. San Jose class.
Oh, I misspelled fixed. Okay, make sure you make a note on every single one, so when you have this entry in there, you can pull up a report on what you did with it.
That was I was about to ask you. It seems like repetitious, but it is with the corresponding account.
You definitely should put notes on everything, just so then it also, as an accountant, you also want to make sure that when you do that, it's like you have an idea of what the transaction is about. Okay, so this is essentially the description that you place under your general journal. This is where you're going to put it. Okay, and then class is San Jose. Okay, everything looks good. So this is how you do the depreciation. All right, so essentially what it's supposed to do is eventually what happens is this actually lowers the value of your assets. Now, of course, this is a non-cash transaction. It's not truly reflecting on what it is. What you're going to see is a book value of what it should list as when you look at your inventory assets. Okay, I'm sorry, your fixed assets. But you're not going to see it actually be taken away from the actual asset itself. Okay. Save and close. All right. Okay. So then what is the next section?
Memorize memorize the depreciation journal entry from the previous step and schedule it to be automatically entered every month starting to 2019 through December.
Okay.
Name the transaction monthly depreciation.
Okay, so first off, how do I get back to that journal entry?
Journal entry.
How do I get back to that journal entry? Where can I find my transaction now that I've already completed it?
You pull out that file and then there's a left arrow, something like that. I cannot remember the screen. I'm sorry.
Mm, in this case, there is no left arrow.
No, once you learn that.
Could you go to your chart of accounts and look up journal entries and click it?
That is correct. That is the one way, that is the only way you can actually see your journal entries is by going to your chart of accounts, going to your journal entries, and pulling up that specific transaction. So they want us to memorize this one. Okay, so they want us to memorize this transaction right here. How do I memorize it?
You have the in the window option for memorize,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go.
Yes, there is memorize at the very top here, or you could go to edit and memorize report, memorize transaction. Oh, that I'm on view, sorry, edit. And you can memorize the transaction here. But in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and look at my easy way option, which is on the actual window, memorize. And we're gonna call this monthly depreciation.
What was it that you clicked that left arrow there? And that's why I was saying.
That is when you've entered in something. So for example, you're going to use the find option. That is only if you entered in a bill and you know for a fact that was the last thing that you entered, then you go into enter bills and you'll be able to click the previous button right there.
Okay.
But for this one, there is no button where I can just go ahead and press the general journal. I could go to the make general journals option and click the previous one. Yes, I could have done that too. But in this case, no, I did not use that way. I just wanted to recognize how do I get to the journal entry in the first place. So in this case, I need to set a date, right? How often? Monthly. From January, from what is it? Okay. And is there a given number of reminders? Well, since we're doing this every year and we're in February, there should be 11 months.
11 remaining.
Mm-hmm. And then how many days in advance do I would like to have this to be entered?
It didn't indicate on the problem.
I'm just going to say at least 15 days. Nah, let's say 5 days. 5 days before. Okay? Okay. There you go. If you have sound on, it just took a huge picture. All right. What comes next? What's question number 4?
Create and print a balance sheet standard.
Okay. So, how do I do that?
follow the 10 steps.
Nope, no, that's not the
We're
10
doing
steps. We're printing out the balance sheet.
we're printing the or create following the chapters.
We're going to report
Reports where?
accounting.
Well, where? Like, where am I going to reports?
Menu bar.
Menu bar.
Company. Oh, the reports.
Memorized reports.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Reports, company and financial.
Company and financials, balance sheet, and we want the balance sheet standard, okay? Yes, you can go here. You can also go to the report center by using the icon bar, or at the top of here, of course, you have the report center. So again, I want to do a balance sheet standard, and I want to make it for not this time period, but I want it as of
January 31st.
January 31st, yes. Okay, so I taught this in chapter 6 to get your company financials. Okay, so here you go. I have this here. I am not going to print it. So, last question I think is question number 5. And what does number 5 tell us to do?
Journal report.
For 1 through 131. Okay. So I'm going to go to my reports at the top here. I believe it's accountant and taxes. And I am going to do my list of, what does it say? Transactions list, or what am I doing? Journal list.
Journal report.
Okay, let me see. General ledger. Transaction detail. Oh, journals.
Journal transactions.
Okay. And I need it for
January 1st. To the 31st.
make sure you hit that refresh button. So here, I've only made 3 journal entries so far, 2 journal entries. Not that I know of. Due to the end of the month, of course, I made the adjustments at the end of the month. January 30th, 29. Okay, I don't see my journal entry for the 31st. Oh, these are not even in order. Okay, well, it's there somewhere. Let me see.
Well, then if it's not in order like that, will you be able to arrange it accordingly?
For view report, I don't think so. It's going to be in the whatever order that you place it, or if you customize it, you can filter in your details of which one that you're going to be entering in here. But in this case, this is journal entries for the whole month of January. So, yep. So that is it here. I'm not going to print it out, but that's how you find it, and we're just going to have to just go read through each one and to try to find where the transaction is occurring. So let me see. These are due to vendors. Okay, All right. Any questions in regards to chapter 13 at all? This is chapter 13. Okay. Pretty straightforward. When, for those who are going to be going into my accounting course, we will get to look at the different varieties of different adjustment entries that do exist in the accounting and what they involve. For my accounting class that have already done it, this is what you need to utilize to make those adjustment entries.
It's
Okay?
faster.
Yes, a lot quicker, yes.